He's been standing in the corner. You could feel his energy. You could feel him when he walks in.
Aura.
You think to yourself, wait a minute. Does that guy have the #1 pick in the NFL draft this upcoming season?
Oh!
For this draft season, is he the topic of conversation with everybody? Because what the hell is he going to do? Well, it seems like the entire world has already made his decision for him.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, the general manager of the Chicago Bears.
Hell yeah.
Big Popo! Appreciate you so much. Hey, it's on carpet, so it might not wheel as easy. Yeah, I was struggling. You saw me struggling with it. A lot of sleep. I was in Chicago last night. I was in your great city last night. It was a beautiful place. Let's make sure we put that up because you're tall. Are you the tallest GM?
Might be.
Are you the most athletic GM?
No, absolutely not.
Who is, you think? Have you looked around?
I haven't looked around.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
What you have done up there, seemingly, and I think we got to. Is this on?
Yeah, it's on.
First one. So you're the guinea pig of the
Yeah,
draft.
yeah,
Hey, you're the
right.
first pick of the draft. First pick of the draft. First one in here. We appreciate you joining us. League meetings every single year. What happens here? You're learning about what the NFL wants to do next season. There's deals getting done. Are you talking to people? Is there stuff like what is the league meeting as a whole every single year for you as a GM now?
Yeah, there's probably deals getting done, but most of it's sitting in these meetings, health and wellness of the players, new rules being introduced to everybody, hearing those debates go back and forth.
So the hip drop tackle, we were very anti, just like every player was. And then literally Jim Harbaugh almost tackled me out in the hallway and was like, this is kind of what we want to get rid of. Is that kind of everybody's mindset going in? Like, we don't want to change football, but then you start hearing what the intent of the rule is, and then everybody's like, okay, yeah, we can get on board with that. Is that normally how things happen here?
That's how it goes down, because most of us, we just don't want the game to be interrupted, slowed down. You don't want those gray area plays to start affecting the game. But a lot of times there's someone that, pitches it the right way in terms of, all right, if the clear and obvious can be taken out, we shouldn't see, those really tough calls that you get a 15-yard penalty and it messes up the whole game. So
we'll attack the refs, not you guys.
Yep.
So whenever they potentially get the intention wrong and they throw a flag on something that ruins an entire game, we'll be the ones that'll attack them instead of you. But these refs getting better than ever.
Yep. Right.
Better than ever. We appreciate Stripes. I'm sure there's meetings about that. All right, let's talk about your current situation. Yep. You guys are drafting Caleb Williams #1 overall.
We'll see.
Congratulations. You did it.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Woo!
You did it. Okay, so that is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Because every report that comes out about you guys and Caleb, or Caleb's pro day, or you guys dapping up at the pro day, or having dinner at the pro day, and meeting him with his teammates and everything, everybody's like, okay, Chicago Bears fans are like, our guy is our guy. As this process has gone on, with your research into Caleb, what have you learned about him that you've loved? And what do you think people maybe had a misconception of him, or maybe you had a misconception of him going into the entire process?
Yeah, what makes it interesting is he's probably the biggest NIL football player to come through the process.
Ever.
And so you have to kind of break that down, because usually that's not the case. And, you want to know, does he have humility? Can he self-assess and say, I'll take ownership of what he needs to continue to work on and improve? And he's checked all of those boxes so far. So I've been encouraged, with the time that we've spent with him, the things that we've learned, in terms of does he fit our culture, and can he be a guy that helps take the Chicago Bears to the next level.
Do you hate the fact that it's like such a matter of fact that he's going? Because like when I was with the Colts when Andrew Luck was coming out, Andrew Luck took a visit to Washington because they had the #2 pick or whatever, and in the building whenever he was taking his visit to the Colts and said he had to go to Washington next, we're all like, yep, worth it. Completely worth it. Does it suck that you potentially have like next to no leverage with the #1 pick because everybody seemingly knows exactly what you're doing? Or is it great because there's a guy that everybody assumes should be the #1 overall pick?
I think it's year to year. But when you have pretty good clarity, it really doesn't make a difference.
AJ's got a question.
How do you not get swayed by sometimes, not this year, like just in general, when you're drafting players, like not being, I guess, like whatever the public may think. Sometimes there's like a lock that the public thinks, like, you need to take this guy. You need him. How do you sometimes go and actually study and realize, is it tough to go against that sometimes where the public thinks, hey, this is what you need to do?
You don't pick
and you're
Caleb.
thinking the long game. Hey, I just wait 2 or 3 years and you guys will understand what I'm doing.
It happens every year, and I think that's the hardest part of being a general manager or a leader in any space is you're doing the homework, you're getting the correct information. You have a group of really good scouts that are giving that to you. If that goes against the narrative, you gotta stand up against that.
And you're getting killed like in the instant, but hey, I'm playing the long game. This is going to work out eventually.
Absolutely.
How many picks as a whole do you guys have?
Right now we have 4.
Okay, when's the next one after #1?
9.
Oh, yes, you were in a good spot.
Really
Yeah.
good spot.
Great spot.
Okay, that's a lot of research. You got to do a lot of shit here.
Yeah. Yep.
Has this been a very busy, active? Obviously, this is your most active time. But what is it? Pro days are the best. The meetings are the best. The visits. What is the best?
Visits, time spent with the guys. You guys have been in a locker room before. When you spend time with someone, you look them in the eye, you go out to dinner, you want to make sure that fits in with the locker room. So that's going to be really, really important.
You go to dinner with Caleb and his teammates.
Yep.
Is what we learned
Yep.
as of the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
They cheers each other. Good toast. Or is it good food? Somebody pick up a tab.
It was great food. I picked up the tab.
Wow.
Wow, hey,
Good GM right
way to
there.
go.
That's a
Do
good
you,
GM.
offer, do you want a guy to offer to pick up the tab?
No, it doesn't have to offer. It doesn't have to offer.
Oh, highest NIL guy of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Help
Yeah,
out.
it's true. Yeah.
Tone's got a question for you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Justin Fields because I saw you talking. I believe you said it was one of the hardest things that you've ever had to do as a GM. I believe there was a poster in your house of Justin Fields. You said, now, were you aware when you took the GM role that it was gonna be that hard? Is it just because Justin is the guy that he is? And also, I'm a Steelers fan, so what are we getting with Justin Fields?
Yeah, well, you're getting a great kid. Works his butt off. Dynamic. We've all seen that in terms of how he moves. The person's outstanding. You won't be wrong there at all. In terms of hard decisions, absolutely. His jersey is up, in our house.
Sure.
It's my son was Justin Fields for Halloween. So
I was Takate,
Great costume.
yeah.
which is a whale.
So those conversations are tough. So I get from the fan base why that's a difficult thing. But again, it's my job to really look at the short term and the long term and set our organization up for success.
How about that Panthers trade?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're-
Pretty good one.
worked out really well.
yeah. Do you hear because obviously, and we're lucky to talk to a few GMs around the league, but like when RG3 comes out, you heard it. Yeah. Okay. What are your don't you think like your particular Bears feels different than maybe the previous Bears? Like that's how we feel outside looking in. It's
Yep.
like, hey, this is a brand new building almost. Does it feel like that in there? And obviously you weren't there beforehand, but does it feel like you and Eberflus's culture is because at the end of the last season,
Right.
it feels like, okay, the culture's kind of settling in, team settling in. You guys feel that obviously?
Yeah, it pisses me off a little bit, to be honest with you, because we were hired to break a cycle. The same thing when I was in Kansas City. Coach Reed, all of us were brought there to break a cycle, and we did. And no one talks about those days anymore. It's all about what they are right now. So I really believe we're about to break this cycle and get this city in a really good situation and win a lot of games. So the past is the past. Like I don't worry about that at all. It's about where we're going.
Okay, well, a lot of people had a similar reaction to you. Owner at the owners' meetings of the Green Bay Packers here. Ty has a question for you, Paul.
Yeah, unfortunately, because just talking to you right now, you're a great guy, and I really like what you've done this offseason. I hope you guys lose so many games for the rest of your game. But that's personal. But you talk about Caleb fitting the culture of the team. Coming in, obviously, you move some of those foundational pieces, and then this year you trade for Sweat at the trade deadline, give him a massive extension. How do you know, or like how long does it take when it's like, okay, we finally do have the guys that I'm looking for in here that fit the culture and kind of what Coach Flus is trying to do with the team?
Yeah, the team starts to run itself. The locker room runs itself. You don't have to get up there and talk about standards. You don't have to talk about how we're going to do things. The guys start doing that on their own. And I really think once you start to head in that right direction, you can kind of back off a little bit, and you're going to practice at the same tempo, deal with conflict and issues at a totally different level. So you can start to feel that already.
For the rookie quarterback thing, which is our kind of take, you invested in running back, Keenan Allen, got more weapons alongside DJ. You did a little bit of work on the offensive line.
Yep.
In the defense. That feels like a perfect setup for a rookie quarterback. I mean, isn't that what we're looking for?
Absolutely.
And that's on purpose, obviously.
On purpose, yep.
What do? You have a dry erase board? You're like, all right, how do we not screw this guy up? That is a real thing because there's a lot of rookie quarterbacks that come in and
Yeah.
does not work out.
No, it's a unique situation. And when you look at history, a lot of those guys come in and they got to fight, for the first couple of years just to get to the other side.
Survive almost.
Survive. So this is a great setup. The trade worked out well where we have weapons, we have a defense. So, hey, on those bad days, we're going to need some turnovers to bring it back. And when you're a little bit off, you can hand the ball off, and you can start to dictate how the defense is going to play it, and then from there, we just grow and get better.
Connor's got a question for you.
Yeah, Ty mentioned the trade deadline last year. Now, trade deadline moving back a week.
Yeah.
Is that something for you that it's like, thank God? Because if we have a guy go down early and another team falls off, they might be more willing to, give us an important piece that could help us go all the way. Or what is your thoughts around the trade deadline moving back and how it helps you guys and all the GMs really in the end?
Yeah, it helps you, an additional week. We never changed it once we went to 17 games. So it kind of feels the same.
And you guys are trying to get to 18 games, right? I heard you are.
Sure.
I get it. I get it. It's a lot of football.
That's a lot.
Gotta love it.
A lot of football. But yeah, I think that it's a good move. They also want to protect not getting too far down the road where now people are just starting to dump players, trying to get draft capital. So I think it's a good move. It should work out well.
Are you and Coach Eberflus in the gym every morning? He's strapped right now.
Oh, my God.
Isn't he?
He's getting right, yeah.
Yeah, he's on a program, I think. He's got
Hair is unbelievable.
Yeah,
He
that
d-
linebacker's starting to come back out.
He looks real. When you're trying to piece the culture together, though, and I think they asked about that, like, you're trying to look for a specific person to be a Chicago Bear now going forward. Like, we have an identity, obviously, and you think you are finding that or have that at this point?
Yep. Tough, violent, fast, explosive. Guys that are passionate about football.
Love ball, right?
Love ball. Gotta love ball.
So we heard that about Caleb. Whenever we were at the Combine, we were walking around, me and Mad Mel, and we were chit-chatting with everybody because going into it, not you, us outside who didn't know him, we heard his team talk a lot. Like, hey, Caleb's team saying this. And is that even Caleb's team, or is that just somebody that might be in the sphere but doesn't actually know what they're talking about? Right. So we thought immediately, like, okay, maybe, buddy, the NFL existed before you. The NFL will exist after you. He wants a percentage of the team. He's not going here. He's not doing this. This is all meant from the team. None from Caleb, but from the team. So your immediate thought is like, oh, this guy's prima donna diva.
Yeah.
Okay, especially at the quarterback position. But then you got the GQ, you got the NIL, you got everything that's going on.
Right.
That kind of all feeds into it. Then we go to the Combine, and everybody's like, everybody we talk to, equipment managers, athletic trainers, teammates, coaches, everybody loves him, and he's obsessed with ball.
Obsessed with
I don't think that gets talked about at all, or wasn't talked about at all.
No, but that's what you got to be careful with what you read and what you hear.
How do you find out if somebody loves ball? Do you talk to all those people, or is it questions?
We've talked to probably 30, 40 people for a lot of these prospects just to get a real feel for, is that passion there? Are they tough? Are they going to go through hard things? Are they resilient? Because really with this setup of college football, it's harder to even take criticism. It's harder to give criticism because if I get too much, then I'm out.
Guys are getting soft, you're saying.
Else.
Guys are getting soft.
Maybe a little bit.
We think
Maybe a
that.
little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
We think that. That's why, like, building a team would be impossible.
Yeah.
Right now.
Nightmare.
Yeah, but I want to see guys that have gone through hard. They've had struggles. For Caleb specifically, like this year was not exactly the way that he wanted. He had to go through some hard times, and he probably learned a lot about himself and how to overcome those things. Because in the league, that's going to happen. Yeah, and you got to get through it. So.
Yeah, and there's a game coming.
Yep.
And then another one. And then 18, if you guys could have your way. Todd's got a question for
You talked about it now with hard times. How many questions do you ask around NIL? Because Saban came out and he talked about his end of season meetings with his players, and they just come in and they want to know if they're starting and how much money they're getting. Do you ask the coaches and people like that if the player has come in, if he's transferred a bunch of times, if they care obviously about the ball, but do they only care about the money? Do they care only about the playing time and the transferring and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's a really good touch point to see how they're going to handle it. There's some situations where I think it helps us, right? Because before that, you're going to get a bag of money, and then how are you going to respond after? But we've already made the decision. Now we can see some of these guys have had it before. How do they manage their situation? How's their structure? Who are the people around them? Are they staying dedicated to the sport that they're supposed to love? So you can get some good answers through this. So it's not all negative about it.
They say it's hard to wake up and work when you're sleeping on satin sheets. We're already finding out, I guess, with these college kids sleeping in penthouses and things around college campuses. Nice.
How was your dorm?
Shit.
I mean, it was rough.
They shut down my house. My house got tore down like the year after I moved out. It should have been tore down.
I stayed in the same dorm as my dad did at Boston College. That's how old it was.
Jeez.
Air conditioning, no way.
No way.
No way.
No.
But now look at you, that watch. You see this watch?
Huge.
This thing is
Myself a mile away.
staring at me.
Capital R.
Did you see what The Rock did to Cody Rhodes last night?
No.
Oh, you don't want to see
Don't
it.
look
bro.
at it,
Don't.
Bulls.
You don't.
Don't
Don't
want to
look
see it.
at it.
Look what he's done.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man who's been in the NFL since 2009. Long time. You're a young man, too.
Yeah, young.
How old are you?
Yep, 38.
Jeez.
GM of a team at 38.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan.
Absolutely.
Thank you for stopping by. Hey, good luck. You don't draft Caleb, everybody's going to talk about it.
Don't worry.
Hey, you can draft. Yeah, you can draft anybody. Yeah, don't feel obligated to draft Caleb.
Go Eagles.
Thanks for doing deals with Omar. By
Hey,
the way.
we'll. Hey, take care,
in
man.
there.
Keep killing it, dude. Sweet watch.
Trade that pick.
Brandon, thank you, buddy.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
That was the Bears PR guy.
Yeah.
Brandon, good guy.
Brandon watches the program.
He does.
As soon as he found out we were going, he hit us up. Was
What a
like,
dog.
hey, you want to get Mr. Poles on? And right outside, Mr. Poles does know that you call him Big Pole Poles.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay,
Doesn't
yeah,
everybody?
Glad.
That's a good thing. I think.
Go Moxie.
I'm talking about, just the ability to, like racing, you sit on top of the,
Exactly.
In the side.
Always
position.
leading the polls.
pole position.
Right.
He's as tall as a pole.
No, don't do what you just did.
Oh, I thought
Oh,
that's what
what?
they say for Indy.
Yeah, it's for whenever you're
Pole position, yeah.
on top pole position.
Pole
Yeah.
position, not pole sitter.
38 years old, man.
All right, so we just did it. They're drafting Caleb.
Yep. Hey, congratulations.
That's journalism.
Yeah.